If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to help me out with the production of more content for this channel, then please consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the description down below. Hello everybody, this is SeetherCord, and welcome to another installment of my SeetherTalks series here on YouTube. For today's episode of SeetherTalks, we're going to be talking about internet drama and my experience with it. It is a sad tale of PC elitism, cringeworthy furries and bronies, and Skype drama. So with that out of the way, we can now just get started with talking about my worst experience with drama online. Now, this is going to be more of a kind of less funny, more serious tone video because this kind of experience that I had a really big effect on me emotionally when it happened about 2 to 3 years ago. So I'm not going to be making as many jokes in this video for today, so just be warned. So to begin the story, back in the year of 2013 or 2014, I believe, I had two friends who were also YouTubers, which I'm not going to say their names. I'm just going to refer to them as A and J. And both A and J had their own YouTube channels. J had about 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, and A had about 400 or 500 on his. And in the beginning, I only really talked to A on Skype because J didn't really ever have Skype himself personally. A year later, I didn't really talk with any of them at all anymore. And then eventually, out of nowhere, A just came back and said, "Hey, I got a Skype group. You want to join it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I would love to join it." And so I joined the Skype group. Jay was finally there. He started finally using Skype and voice chatting with people online, which was really cool. I had a lot of fun in there. I met some other friends of both A and J, and I also brought in my friend Alex and a few other people as well that I knew into the group so we can have a bunch of fun. And everything was all right for the first few weeks, but then I started noticing other things were happening within the group. For one thing, I want to clear out of the way, the group was very big on PC gaming, and not saying anything bad about PC gaming. I like to do PC gaming from time to time myself, but I'm more primarily a console gamer. And there wasn't really an issue with it at first, but I noticed with A, he was really into PC gaming. But back when I first met A, he was really into console gaming a lot, but then I found out that over time he eventually ended up getting into PC gaming, which there's nothing wrong with that personally. But I heard that he sold all of his console stuff so that way he can afford building his gaming PC a lot more. I'm pretty sure A had about 3 different monitors, a really nice processor. I'm sorry if I'm butchering some words and making you PC guys cringe. I'm not that great when it comes to computers, so bear with me. But besides that, it's all good that he's doing that. It's his choice. I didn't really have a problem with it, honestly. But I then noticed the issue with it was the fact that he was starting to become a little bit of an elitist. He was a part of that PC master race thing. A lot of the times when we would talk, he would still bring up the fact that I console game and that I didn't know that much about computers. He would end up calling me stupid because I didn't know certain computer terms or certain things when it comes to computer hardware, which I thought wasn't that nice. But then also to get into one aspect, which I feel like I kind of deserved to get criticized over, was back then, about 3 or 4 years ago when I was in the Skype group, I was really overly pushing the fact that I was a furry and a brony at the time. I do remember that I was getting really annoying with it, and I do feel like I deserve some criticism for constantly berating them about furries and bronies in that group when the rest of them weren't furries or bronies, and they were mostly just PC gamers. Because in that group, primarily what they would talk about was PC gaming, and I felt kind of like the odd one out because I just joined in there because I knew both A and J. Eventually, A and I did not get along that well. We just got into fights a lot more. We ended up arguing about stuff a lot more over the simplest things. We were both getting annoyed with each other, and it affected the group a lot. He did some bad things, and I also did some bad things. But the thing that really stood out and made me feel really bad was Jay, on the other hand, I thought was a really cool guy, and he was a lot nicer than A, and he was my friend. But then out of nowhere, I just got a message from both A and J individually saying, "We're not friends with you anymore. Stop talking to us and never speak to us again." And I was like, what the heck? And then I thought to myself, A must have convinced J to not talk to me ever again. And then I felt really bad because I thought J was a really nice guy and very friendly. But then I kind of learned that J was not really as nice as he was perceived to be. Because I also noticed that around the time this drama happened, Jay was also becoming a lot more negative himself. I even also noticed it in his YouTube channel. Most of his newer videos since the drama happened consisted of him talking negatively of his older videos, saying that he was really cringy back when he made videos when he was really young, and not really accepting the fact that he had those videos, and not really viewing them in any positive light whatsoever. And I'm not necessarily saying there's something wrong with not enjoying your old videos. I don't really enjoy my older content as well. but I felt like he had a way more negative connotation and attitude towards his older videos than I ever did. After a while of not talking to A or J for a while, I still tried to talk to Alex and my other friends who were also in that group, but I remember that Alex and a few others would get criticized immediately or hated on by A or J and a couple other people just for defending me and trying to be my friend in the whole thing. And it also did not help with the fact that every day I was starting to get tons of dislikes on my older YouTube videos and my other channels. I was getting at least 2 or 3 new Twitter accounts made a day that were like hate accounts towards me. They would take pictures of my face and they would morph them. They would Photoshop my face on ISIS members. And that stuff really affected me about 2 or 3 years ago because I never really experienced something like that before. If that stuff happens to me today, it doesn't really bother me that much because I've already experienced it and I don't really go through the trauma of that anymore. But still, like, I felt really bad when that happened because I just felt like the enemy of a lot of people. Like, I admitted and I thought to myself, like, I made mistakes, but why am I still getting hate for these mistakes? Like, I've already learned my lesson. Why are they still hating on me? But then eventually, after a while, and after deleting certain Twitter accounts and my own personal YouTube account and reporting a lot of Twitter accounts and just wanting to get this guy to go away from me, I ended up getting a lot more depressed. I started to feel a little bit suicidal because of it, but then I eventually grew out of that and I'm all right now, don't worry. However, I still haven't talked to them to this day. Jay is still on YouTube, even though I've never really interacted with him since then, and I'm still not going to say what his YouTube channel name is because I don't want to start crap with people. I don't know where he is now. The only thing I think he does now is that he's on Reddit, which I'm not going to give his name out either. But about 1 to 2 years later, I did eventually end up making the SeetherCord channel. I came into it kind of scared because I was worried I was just going to get more hate by him if he found out about it. But that never really happened, and I eventually ended up growing into the channel that I am today, and I'm happy, and I'm glad the drama's all over. I'm glad that I became a lot more mature. I'm glad that I learned my lesson on certain things and how I shouldn't start stuff in groups and in drama chats. I kind of appreciate having that experience because I feel like it's made me handle criticism a lot better now these days than it did about a few years ago. And overall, I don't really regret it happening. I'm just accepting of it happening and just taking it as a learning experience on making sure not to let it happen again. If I could give any advice to the people who are watching this video, if you are going through a similar situation like I had a few years ago, just don't let those people bother you. Make sure to take some time away from the internet to not let it hit you that much. And know that if you have people that are like constantly doing stuff to that extent that they were doing to me, they more so have a problem than you do, even if you've already learned your lesson, if they're still going to give you hate after you've pretty much already did your time and have taken the consequences of your own actions. But that's all I really have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of weird episode of SeetherTalks, and we're actually now at the 25 mark. We're 1/4 of the way to 100 episodes of SeetherTalks. Oh my God. It takes forever to upload episodes of this series. It really is. God, I gotta get a schedule. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up this episode of SeetherTalks for today. If you enjoyed this video and you want to further help out my channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon, hitting that like button, turning on that notification bell, and subscribing to my channel altogether. I've been SeetherCord, and I will see you guys next time. So, goodbye, everyone.
And you were like, yes! I looked up all over it. And the chairs and blah, blah, blah. And then you got back home, and we were still in the call. You were like, fuck.
It was on the couch.
It was like this. It was like this. You were like, fuck, I'm gonna have to pay for everything. It's gonna be so expensive, and I'm broke, and blah, 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 and I wanna die, and then blah, blah. Oh, it's on the couch. Like,
okay, to be fair, you reacted the exact same way when someone broke into your car.